Okay, so there's been a rumour going around for a while now that Andy Muschietti, the guy that directed both It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, has decided he's going to make a supercut. Now, it's just getting more and more prevalent as time goes on. It's getting more and more like this is going to happen. Now, recently he has said it's going to happen. But the more we hear about this, the more fascinating it sounds. So originally we heard he was going to basically take It Chapter 1, or Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 and put them together to make one mega long film with both films. Now we're hearing that this film is now going to be 6 hours long, which already makes you kind of like, oh my God, like that's insane, like a 6 hour long movie, putting them both together. But then you realise that the runtime of both of these isn't 6 hours. So then he's also said that there's a lot of footage that never made it into these movies that he filmed that he's now going to be putting into the movie. So it's obviously going to drag them out. But it's also been mentioned that there might be sort of alternate cuts. So it's not going to be a case of like, here's Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, which are going to bookend them both together and make a big movie. What he said is that it's going to be a whole fresh movie. So he's going to take scenes from this and scenes from this and intertwine them together to make it work. Now, recently, Quentin Tarantino did this with Kill Bill 1 and 2, where he mashed them both together to make a more coherent single film. And I didn't see that version of Kill Bill. I really wish I had, because it sounded amazing. But apparently, it was better than the two films separate. Everyone said it was a really fantastic version of the movie, and probably the definitive version of the movie, which I think is going to happen with these two. I think that Andy Muschietti is going to basically merge them together. Now, if you've read the book by Stephen King, you'll know that both these stories, so basically both these movies, happen at the same time. So instead of like with this, where you see the children's version of the story, and then suddenly you see the adults' version of the story. So It Chapter 1 is the kids' version of what happened when they were young and the first time they took on Pennywise. It Chapter 2 is them coming back to try and finish Pennywise off and end the story. Now, in the book, it literally happens at the same time. So you start off with the adults like finding out it's back, and you'd have like flashbacks almost of what happened with the kids. So both stories happen at the same time. And when you get to the end of the thing, where the adults go down the sewer to try and fight Pennywise and finish him off, the same thing happens with the children at the same time. So they're thinking back to when last time they went down to face him. I think that's what he's planning to do with this. I think he's going to literally bring them together, so you get sort of like the adult story, and then you're going to go back to the children's story. So you're going to see both at the same time. They're literally going to cut them together, which I think is brilliant. And then you're going to add extra scenes into it. But we also need to factor in the fact we've got Welcome to Derry, which was a phenomenal show in the same universe as this, with Skarsgård playing Pennywise, where we obviously see, if you've seen Welcome to Derry, it would be spoilers now, we'll talk about spoilers, that we see Richie Tozer's mum, Margaret, in the past, and she takes on Pennywise as well. Will they use stuff from Welcome to Derry and mix it in with this to make it fit better with that show, and possibly to where that show's going to go in the future? Because obviously there's a lot of plans to go further back in time when it comes to Pennywise. We also found out in Welcome to Derry that Pennywise himself doesn't follow a linear timeline. He's kind of everything at once, so he sees all time at once. So he knew, obviously, that Margaret's son would eventually kill him. So are we going to link back to that? Is it going to delve into that a bit more with this new cut of this, so it bonds and makes more sense with that? Are we going to see some of the Welcome to Derry elements move in to this? I think if they do, that'll be absolutely amazing. But also there's the fact that a lot of people, when they've watched these two films, love them, think they're great, but are a little bit disappointed by the ending of It Chapter 2. Now, if you've read the book Stephen King's It, the ending is very, very different from the both versions. Even the version made in the 90s, starring Tim Curry as Pennywise, was very different from the book ending. It all involves like going into sort of like the inner space and the sort of macro world, and the giant turtle that sort of like threw up the planet, and all it goes very deep and very insane almost. And a lot of people have said they kind of want to see the turtle, and throughout the whole of the two films there are references to this turtle. Now the turtle in the book is like the force of good that's kind of against the Pennywise's like evil character. So, or it as it was, the entity that is it is kind of against him, and it kind of helps the kids like work out how to defeat it in the end. So the giant turtle is kind of referenced throughout the whole thing, and even referenced in Welcome to Derry multiple times. They mention the turtle over and over, or a turtle over and over again. So it'll be interesting to see if they think, do you know what, they tweak the ending a bit, because I said that is the thing that everyone was disappointed about when it comes to It Chapter 2. Fantastic, like It Chapter 1, no one can, it's almost flawless movie. It Chapter 2 was really good, the casting was phenomenal and all that, but when it got to the very end of the movie, everyone was kind of like, oh, that's kind of a letdown. He turned into a big puddle on the floor at the end. What if Andy Muschietti managed to bring the adult cast from It Chapter 2 back and reshoot the ending and give us a different ending or a better ending? Maybe he looks at what people, like the negatives people had on this film, and improves on it. So not only are we going to get this whole like new cut of the movie where it's like 6 hours long, but we get a different ending. How amazing would that be? That they tweak the ending and give us a little bit more of like what we might have wanted, that sort of like makes people more satisfied by the ending. And will it link into stuff they're doing with Welcome to Derry? I mean, I've said in the past, when I did my reviews on Welcome to Derry, that I would love to see more of that universe expanded. So we've got the It side of it, but we could, because we had Dick Hooran in it, who ends up in the hotel in The Shining. We didn't get that tease at the end of Welcome to Derry, where it says like, I'm going to go be working in a hotel. And it's obviously the Overlook Hotel. It's the hotel from The Shining. I would love to follow him there, do a spin-off series that follows Dick to that hotel, and we get to see the Overlook Hotel and Dick experiencing all of the ghosts from The Shining and like how he deals with that. Even move on to actually doing The Shining as a movie or a TV show, a new version of it, done hopefully by the guys that brought everyone that's sort of involved in this, and merge it into a whole universe. Like, kind of like what Marvel's done with the Avengers, but make it a Stephen King universe. And they could go on from there, and they could do other movies and stuff all based on Stephen King, but keep it within that continuity of the same feeling, the same style, and the same atmosphere that you've made these ones in. Because that would be brilliant. Imagine that they could go to like Carrie. You could go to, I think they're remaking Carrie recently actually, so I might not be able to do it yet. But you could go to Carrie, you could go to Tommyknockers, you could go to Christine, you could go to Cujo if you want to. You go to all these Stephen King, these mad Stephen King stories, some of them haven't been made into movies yet, and make them into movies based on this. So I don't see why it could be such a far-fetched dream. But when it goes back to the whole idea of merging these two together, I would love it. But 6 hours. You can imagine trying to sit in a cinema for 6 hours. You'd have to go out to the toilet. You'd have to stand up to stretch your legs. Imagine like getting up after 6 hours. You'd be like, oh my God, my legs will be gone. Your neck and back will be gone. Then I thought about Zack Snyder's Justice League. So Zack Snyder did the Justice League. And then halfway through, he was like fired because of different things going on. And Joss Whedon took over. Then we got the theatrical cut of the Justice League that no one really liked. A little bit down the line, Zack Snyder said, look, I've got all the footage that I did, and you got rid of me and you reshot the whole thing, but I've still got a lot of the footage we've got already. I could get the cast back to reshoot, and we could finish my version of the Justice League. So Zack Snyder's Justice League became a thing because everyone was on this whole hashtag release the Snyder Cut. He then does his version of it, and everyone says that was the better version. And you can get it now. But that, again, that is I think about 5 hours long or something. But what he did is he cut it down into sections. So he had like different parts so that you didn't have to watch the whole thing in one go. You could watch like it almost chapter by chapter. That's what they could do with this. So instead of sitting there for 6 hours in a cinema, maybe they could do it as a TV show and have chapters. Like do like 6 1 hour long episodes. And you get it that way. That might be easier to take in. And why not? How amazing would it be? How well done would that be? So that's what I think they should do to make it more palatable. Because to expect anyone to sit in a cinema screen for 6 hours or sitting at home on the sofa for 6 hours. But if they broke it down so that you could watch it bit by bit, even better. If you wanted to sit there for 6 hours, push play, watch it for 6 hours. But if you didn't want to do that, if you like have stuff you need to do, that's the better way to do it. Or if it's in the cinema, do it. So like maybe you could sort of like, they do it overnight, over a week. So you get like Monday you go and watch it, Tuesday you go watch it, all the way up until Saturday. And you could watch it every night of the week. That would be a great idea. It'd be something different. It'd be hard to do, but why not? I know the possibilities are endless. But I think this is going to be a phenomenal thing. And I am personally looking forward to this. Really looking forward to it. And again, I'd love them to chop it up and make it like one proper linear continuous movie, so it doesn't feel like we just watch half, then we watch the next half. And I can't wait to see what they didn't put in this movie, the deleted stuff that we haven't seen yet. I can't wait to see what that is. And if they did bring them back for reshoots, to reshoot the ending and give it a little bit more, say that we could all, as I said, a little bit more palatable for everyone, so that people enjoy it more. That'll be the icing on the cake, wouldn't it? What a great idea. And you think of other movies, if this catches on, maybe the other movies they would do with, like, they could go back and do Back to the Future and make it one continuous thing, or Lord of the Rings, instead of breaking it down into, oh God, that'll go on all day, wouldn't it? But like, they could do it with that as well. There's so many movies they could do it with, movies that have a kind of like a connection that works. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I'm really, so the more I looked into this, the happier I got, basically. And I had heard the rumour months ago about this like possible supercut, but now I see that it's gonna happen. It's pretty much, it's like, yeah, we are gonna do it. Like Andy Muschietti said, it's gonna happen. So I'm over the moon. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's gonna be better if they do it as one big movie? Do you think, oh, do you know, it's gonna be too much, and like you're not happy with it? Do you want to add the Welcome to Derry stuff into it to give it that sort of connection more? Do you want them to change something? What do you want them to change? What would you like? What do you not like about the original two? You think, you know what, they could get rid of that and just change it? It's probably going to be the ending, but let me know what you think. Where do you think they should go with it? What would you like to see changed? What would you like to see added to it? And do you like my theory about going into The Shining with it? Going into Shawshank Redemption, even though that film's already pretty much perfect in it. As is The Green Mile. We don't need to redo that one either. Damn it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think, and I'll see you very soon. I'm really looking forward to this, and I just can't wait. What movie? Come on.